What's going on, everyone? So the Lakers squeaked out a win against the Phoenix Suns, and it all was because of LeBron James' heroics in the fourth quarter. Anthony Davis really picked it up in the second half. Guys like Christian Wood, fantastic on the defensive side, especially his defense against Kevin Durant. I mean, like, that was huge. Kevin Durant was torching the Lakers, especially to end that third quarter. He was just going off. Finished with 39 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists. He was Kevin Durant, right? And we were throwing everything we could at him to try to just slow him down. And the one thing that worked was Christian Wood. That was huge. Gabe Vincent really got after it on the defense side of the basketball, which was good too. But our just offense continues to struggle. Our energy and us just, hustling is becoming a problem, right? That's 2 games in a row where, to me, it basically boiled down to just us hitting shots and us just matching or at least playing with solid energy, right? There's no reason LeBron James at age 39 in year 21 should have to play 35 minutes for us to just squeak out a win, right? Like, LeBron is supposed to be on a minute restriction. And I know a lot of people don't like the idea of a minute restriction. It should be a no-brainer. The Lakers built this team for LeBron James for that reason. He's in year 21. He's 30. He's going to be 39 years old, right? Like, I understand he is still superhuman, but he's still older, and he still has a lot of wear and tear on his body. And it's still not a good idea for this guy to be playing 35 minutes a game, and then you go into the playoffs, and now he's worn down, and he's not ready to be the LeBron we need him to be in the playoffs. He's not going to be able to take over games on at any moment like we saw in this past playoffs. And I know some people want to just throw out the LeBron James minute restriction window, but it should be discretionary, right? And I talked about this all offseason, that LeBron's probably only going to play around 30 minutes a game, but it's not going to be like a hard, like this game, right? He played 35 minutes. He played the whole fourth quarter. He only played like 2 minutes in the third quarter for that reason, right? So that way LeBron James could go out and play the whole fourth quarter. That was the idea. So they could go and try to go win this game. If you do stuff like that, then sure. But there's no reason that when LeBron James is out of the game, we're a minus 14 every game. It can't happen. Lakers have to be able to finish. And it's just been us hitting shots. We're getting the looks. We're creating the opportunities. We're just not hitting shots. Once again, another game, we shot 17% from 3. And we have good 3-point shooters. We should be a good 3-point shooting team. We were excellent in the preseason. And we have too many good guys. I do expect them to turn it around, right? It's the second game of the season. You can't know everything to know about the entirety of the season without it. There are some good things we have seen. There have been some bad things we have seen. And we got to just continue to improve and grow. We should only continue to get better as the season progresses. But we can't be relying on LeBron James the way that we're relying on LeBron. It's just unacceptable. Rob Pelinka did his part. He put together a ridiculous roster with basically 12 guys that could all go and just, start, right? Most of these guys have started for other teams, right? And it's like, where are these guys? Gabe Vincent's 0-10 from 3-point range in the last 2 games. He 3 of 10 from the field total, right? You have Rui Hachimura, who, yes, his minutes have been limited, but even he doesn't look as comfortable and confident as you would expect, especially with him working all off season, working with LeBron all off season, right? He's having, even in the Denver game, he was struggling to just finish, and it's been sloppy. Reeves hasn't been the Reeves that we know. D'Lo hasn't been the D'Lo that we expect, right? Nobody is really stepping up the way we need them to. Torian Prince scored 18, and then this game gave up a big old goose egg, 0 of 5 from the field. And look, I don't need him to score 18 a game, but at least be somewhat consistent, right? If he gave us 9 or something, or 8, I would have been totally fine with that. I'd be like, okay, because again, he's like the 7th, 8th guy, right? I mean, even if he starts, he's still not, like, he's still supposed to be, the 7th, 8th guy. But everybody needs to start stepping up here, right? We have way too much talent. You have way too many guys that have so much versatility. You got good size. You got everything you need to do and have the impact when LeBron is out the game. This is a team that I fully expect that if LeBron was to take a couple games off for rest or whatever, the Lakers should win most of those games. Anthony Davis looked good this game. We need that, right? It's the consistency with him, right? One game he looks fantastic, scores 30 in this game. Next game, he goes and gives you 17 in the first half and 0 in the second. It's just, we need the consistency from AD. And I'm not saying he has to score 30 a game, but he needs to be in that like 26 range, 26, 28 preferably. And again, if like guys are cooking and everyone's going off, then fine, right? Like, I don't care if Anthony Davis has 15. Right? And Anthony Davis has even talked about that. But it's the games when we need him. Like Denver, we needed him in the second half. That game was still winnable. But Anthony Davis was a no-show. And he got shot attempts. It wasn't like he didn't touch the ball at all. He just wasn't making shots. He was 0-6. Right? And then it's like in the first half of this game, it's like, where's AD at? Right? And he finishes with like 9 points, and then boom, he just takes over in the second half and gives you 30. Right? And to be honest, if I had to choose a half, I'd rather him go off in the second half than in the first half. But I want the consistency. Like, I'd rather him, if he goes and drops 30, give us, 12 in the first half and 18 in the second half, or vice versa, 18 in the first half and 12 in the second half. I'd rather that than anything else. But like, even Christian Wood, you got to imagine his shot's going to come around at some point. I mean, he's 38%. Gabe Vincent, you got to imagine he's not going to be this atrocious from 3. But this is something that we talked about, is Gabe Vincent struggled mightily shooting the basketball for Miami last year. And in the playoffs, that's when he really shined, right? So a lot of people are like, Gabe Vincent was fantastic. Look at him in, the Miami in the playoffs. Yeah, in the playoffs, he was great. In the playoffs, he was like 38, 39% from 3. But in the regular season, he was like 33% or something like that. Like, he was rough. And I'm hoping that that's not the case throughout the course of this regular season, because we need his shooting, right? He can get after it defensively, but the whole point is for him to be that 3-and-D style point guard. A guy that can make some plays, a guy that can hit the open shot, a guy that can get after it on the defensive side. Taurean Prince, I'm not as concerned with him. I know he was 0-5 from the field, but he was also 0-1 from 3, right? And they were glued to him, making sure he didn't go off early. So, I still have plenty of faith. And he's a veteran guy, so I have my faith in Taurean Prince. Like, I'm not super concerned with him. But we need guys to step up, right? Like, I understand it's going to take time. Like, even the new signings, right? Christian Wood, Cam Reddish, Gabe Vincent, Jackson Hayes, Taurean Prince, all those guys, they're going to still take some time to get into the fold, right? They're trying to figure out their role. They're trying to figure out and navigate, like, okay, well, what are we supposed to do? Where are we supposed to be? How do we want to like, there's still a lot to figure out. Again, second game of the season, right? So it's not like sound the alarms yet. And I do expect, as we get more games under our belt, 10, 15, 20 games in, I think that's when you'll start seeing the real Lakers and where they're at, right? Okay, like now, everyone's clicking, all things are firing. Now this team looks like a scary contender. That's what I think will end up happening. Defensively, they're probably going to be the best defense in the league. I mean, again, what they did to Phoenix in that fourth quarter, like, Phoenix missed some shots, don't get me wrong, but the Lakers they buckled down and they played that defense. But again, it's the consistency. We got to get consistent. And even the returning guys, right? Like, we have 6 returning guys, right? Even those guys, they still have a lot to to navigate and figure out, right? Like they still all they only played 24 games together, right? Going into this season. So they're still trying to navigate and figure things out, but it's just been very sloppy, But I do expect guys to kind of right the ship at some point. And hopefully it's the Kings game, right? We have the schedule doesn't get any lighter. It doesn't get any easier. It's not like, oh, well now, like, no, we got Sacramento and Orlando on a back-to-back. And then after Sacramento and Orlando on a back-to-back, we got the Clippers. Like, it keeps going. So we have to figure it out, right? And more reps, more gameplay, more time. Like even Darvin Ham is trying to figure stuff out. I know a lot of people are like questioning his lineups and rotation and stuff, but look, he told you that he was going to do this in the beginning of the season. Everyone was totally okay with it and great with it because we have so much depth and talent. It's the only way you find out. Like the best unit against Denver was LeBron and Rui at the 4 and 5. Like who expect that? Like who would have thought to put Christian Wood on Kevin Durant, right? But you experiment, you throw things out, you throw out different lineups, you throw out different sets, you see how does it look? That worked great. Let's stick with that. Like there's a lot that you got to go into, right? So I trust that they will start to figure that out. And then we'll have these are the 5 guys. Like I wouldn't even be surprised if the lineup changes at some point, like the starting lineup. Right? If we continue to struggle. Because this is 2 games. Now, granted, it's against 2 of the top 5 teams in the league, but still, like, we should be better than this. It's inexcusable with all of this talent that LeBron James has to play 35 minutes. It's just, there's no reason for that. The occasional game here and there, sure. Right? Like, we play Boston or we play Milwaukee and it's a tight game late. Like, yeah, you need LeBron, right? But out of the 82 games, right? Like, and let's say LeBron plays 65 of them, right? Because he wants to get the accolades and stuff like that. I mean, the Lakers should be. Let's say 65 games. At least 55 of those games. Maybe we'll call it 50 of those games. LeBron James should be playing 30 minutes or less. Because you can manage and balance and work all of that out because you're supposed to be able to have and trust your bench unit and the other guys. You have like 6 guys literally on this roster that should be easily able to go get you 20 on any given night, right? Let's remove LeBron. So that should give us like 5, right? Remove LeBron. You have Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, Christian Wood, Rui Hachimura. All 5 of those guys can go get you 20 on any given night. Gabe Vincent has had a game, not in the regular season, but in preseason where he gave you 18. Taurean Prince had 18 in the second game. Like there's other guys that can go give you, a night here and there with 18, but guys got to start putting it together. Again, it's a long season. A lot of these guys are too talented and have been too proven for too long that they should be able to right the ship, right? Like, I don't expect D'Lo to go 1-7 from 3 on a regular basis. I don't expect, Taurean Prince to go 0-5 from the field on a regular basis. I don't expect Christian Wood to go 0-2 from 3 on a regular basis. Again, these are guys that have proven, they are, 38 to 40% from 3. Even Gabe Vincent, I expect to be better. He's 0-10 from 3. He's going to start hitting some of those threes. I don't know if he'll be 38, 40% during the regular season. Again, that's a bit of a concern, but I do expect him to be good enough. They got to get LeBron help. They got to. Again, this is just inexcusable. We can't have this happen. This can't be how the Lakers are operating this entire season. We shouldn't have to have LeBron James put on the cape to save us on a regular basis. Again, it's one game. I'm not going to blow this out of proportion. I don't want it to be, again, it's take the highs with the highs, the lows with the lows. It'll be okay. Right? I know a lot of people are panicking. A lot of people think like, oh, look, even if Bradley Beal and Devin Booker played, right, this would have been a completely different game. Everything would have been different. The intensity might have even been better for the Lakers, right? But even if it wasn't, right, the offensive schemes, the defensive schemes, maybe even the lineups, everything would have been different. So we don't know how that would have looked. But there are the concerns, but you expect that second game into the season with a brand new team. That's something that should have been foreseen. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you think, it's ridiculous that we got to rely on LeBron like this? Are you okay with it? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notifications. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.